Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is Zach with IYKYK Cards, and we're celebrating Easter just a little bit early in this one, as I was finally able to get my hands on some of these Easter tins that have been floating around now for a couple of weeks. I guess these were the quote-unquote mysterious tins that were on the odds sheet when Series 1 first released. So these are actually pretty cool. I mean, they're really no different than a hanger box in terms of the number of cards and such. I mean, they're about $1 or $2 more on average. And they give you 2 holiday variations and 1 exclusive card inside, it looks like. So I guess you get three kind of exclusives to these eggs. But the other thing that's really nice about them is they're completely enclosed, which is kind of nice in the plastic, so you don't have to worry about that slipping off or any nefarious things happening at the stores. But the other thing that I'm hoping we don't see in these is, due to the odd egg shape, sometimes the cards can slip out of where they're quote-unquote locked in. You'll see as we open it, and they can damage the corners with such a what you want to call it, like a significant kind of edge here, whereas at least the holiday balls, they still had the potential to do it, but since they were a little bit more rounded, it was seemed to be a little less prevalent than it is with the Easter eggs. So we got 4. 2 blue and 2 pink. I think there's a third color, might be purple, something like that. Didn't happen to have that. But the guy at GameStop gave me the box, which I thought was pretty cool. So figured I'd make a little bit of a background out of it. And that was the only place I was able to find them, though I did notice them just the other day when I was at my local Walmart. So perhaps they're becoming more prevalent just about everywhere. But that's enough babbling. Let's dive in and see what is inside, shall we? See if we can open them similar to the Christmas ones, where you just kind of guide your blade all the way around it. There we go. Nice and easy. And egg number 1 is open. And there we go. All right, cool. So you can see, similar to the holiday ball or ornament, whatever, they do have that little bit of plastic that holds these in, but there's nothing, like, it comes out pretty easily, so it's very easy for them to hit the top. But let's see. Yeah, definitely seeing some curvature. You'll probably be able to see it a little better when I take it out of here, but see that last card, it's curved pretty good. And even the first one has some dings on the edges. So it's something to keep an eye on, especially in the first case. This is Shohei, so one of the better base cards. Let's stick that off to the side. And without further ado, dive in. At least they were smart enough, once again, to put the good stuff sort of in the center-ish, or at least the back third. So most of the time, I don't think you'll see too much damage to them. But, yeah, there's the corners you can see on the Shohei, a little bit dinged up. So something to keep in mind when deciding if this is a product that you want to buy. As I said earlier, the only thing that really makes these a good product, I guess, to collect are the Easter parallels. They are exclusive to these. So if that's something that you're looking for and you want to pull rather than go out and buy the singles, then this is something that you'll have to contend with. But overall, I think it's another product that's aimed more at the younger collector, at the kids out there, than it is at the more diehard collectors. So it may be less of a problem or less of a concern when it comes to them. But definitely something that's pretty cool. You could, I mean, I could see you putting these in like your Easter egg hunt or whatever you want to call it. They could be fun if you have a couple of kids, or I guess even just one kid that enjoys cards. Jacob Wilson's a nice rookie. But at least the baseball season is back, right? So we are a couple weeks in now and starting to see some of the better teams emerge. And let me just start off by saying, since we're here, the Dodgers, my goodness, they're looking like they could once again be the best team in baseball without too much difficulty. Although it was let's go ahead and move these guys to the back. The Phillies took them down, who are another good team, of course. I believe they're leading the National League East, as the Mets are still trying to figure things out. You know, Soto seems to be playing at least pretty well. Probably not as good as he plays by his own standards, but I'm sure he'll get there. But, I mean, the Dodgers, to me, have to be, oh, look at that, another James Wood. Not as excited, but it is my second James Wood, so now I'm going to leave him out front because it's been such a pain to get. Now I will be able to build more than one set. Oh, that's good stuff. Well, let's get into, here's what the Easter parallels look like. There's a DJ Hers. So these aren't numbers or whatever. But you can see the different Easter things on the side, the umbrella, the watering can, the eggs. Riley Green on the 1990. And we got some stars of MLB to go with our other two parallels, which are the Tampa Bay Rays and Matt Olson. And these are just standard, not numbered. Rafael Devers stars and Logan O'Hoppe. So that's pretty standard. I mean, there's been some people pulling some cool stuff out of here. There's been some all aces getting pulled out of here, autographs. I mean, you can get just about anything. So let's go for number 2. But what I found to be very interesting, going back to Major League Baseball talk, was it seems to be that there is a lot of people that are, you know, think the Dodgers are head and shoulders above everybody else. And at this moment, I really can't disagree. Like, they're playing great baseball. And they're stacked. Like, it's really hard to argue that they're not stacked. You know, I mean, by the time they get healthy, they basically have 2 entire rotations, which is just nuts. So it's a lot of bending here. That sucks. And that looks like some of the good stuff in the middle. You can see that sucks. So definitely something to keep an eye out, guys. But Major League Baseball Network did a special just the other day, or not a special, but they were having a conversation about just how good this Dodgers team could be. And they were comparing them to the 98 Yankees, right? Which are, by most standards, considered the best team of the last 30 years. And, I mean, again, these were just like opinions of the guys on the show. But pretty much all of them were ranking almost every position. The Dodgers were better. The Dodgers had more talent than the 98 Yankees. So I know it's very early to declare something like that, but I mean, let's face it, we all love baseball. These are things that we love to do. We love to argue over, you know, this, that, and the other thing, and this is exactly one of those things. It was pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Looking back, is obviously I remember the 98 Yankees, and I want to say most of the guys on MLB Network, the only positions that they gave to the Yankees, because they compared the position players and then they compared the pitching staffs, and the only positions they gave the Dodgers, or the 98 Yankees, were shortstop. Obviously Derek Jeter. We know that they have Mookie playing there now, but it's kind of hard to argue with that one. You know, no matter what I think of the Yankees, they basically were saying that, you know, you had prime Jeter at that time, you know, and as good as Mookie is, he's not better than that. So not really going to argue that one. It's a pretty good point. And the other one that they pretty commonly gave to the Yankees was center field, Bernie Williams, over Andy Pajes, I think, who the Dodgers have playing out there. So I could see that one too, because Bernie was one of those guys that was kind of one of those, he's a silent type, but man, that guy could absolutely make some noise at the plate and everywhere else. So I can definitely see that, but really interesting stuff. If you can catch a replay of it, I suggest checking it out. All right, getting to the good stuff. Hopefully nothing phenomenal, considering I think there's some corner issues. And Corey Seager on a rainbow foil. A little bit of damage to the top corner. Ooh, there we go. Nice Vladdy Jr. and Ronald Acuna Jr. Yeah, Vladdy's got a couple of bends. That sucks. Acuna. And then these guys, Bryce Harper and Adam Mazur. And Dylan Cruz on the Stars. So, not really seeing anything too crazy. Outside of the, obviously, like we said, we have the guaranteed pulls of the 3 different things. Let me open this one and see what exactly they're calling them. So I think even though they're, you know, exclusive to this, there's, so 2 holiday variations. Obviously, those are like the green leaves or whatever you're seeing there, and 1 exclusive card inside. So that would be like the multicolor Easter one with the Vladdy in the last pack. All right, let's hope for a little less damage in this one. That one fit tight. And then a little preview for the next video. We're going to be diving into some Heritage High Number, guys. I was able to get my hands on some. The hottest product out there at the moment. Finally made it to my area. Still seeing some minor corner damages here, so not as bad as the last pack. Not as bad as the last pack, but still not great either. Why don't we just go back here and we just do that. All right, so kicking it off. But let me know what you guys think. Are the Dodgers the best team in baseball? Are they going to have a pretty simple walk to the World Series? Who are they going to play in the World Series? That's probably the bigger question, because right now I'm not sure who in the National League is going to challenge them. I mean, yes, you have Dodgers are doing, the Diamondbacks are doing okay. Padres are doing very well. They were undefeated for some time there, so definitely a chance. I guess the Mets could get it together. I think their pitching is going to have to make a couple of pretty big leaps, because it's not looking too great right now. Watched a couple of their games. Phillies, I guess, could be another one as well. The Braves look like they're in for a down year. Although, again, these are all way too early things, right? Like they say, right? Way too early predictions, because we're just a couple of weeks into the season, right? And 162 games, it's kind of hard to make a judgment off of the first 15 to 20, whatever it's been. Well, one thing's for certain, my team is not doing well. If we're going to do anything, I think my Orioles need to get some pitching, because that's definitely been what's letting us down. Although I'm glad to see Holiday playing well, so hopefully that continues. And all right, here we are, the good stuff. Cactus League, J-Rod. Ooh, we got a Jace Young on the whatever they call this speckle foil thing. Ranger Suarez. Here we go. Oh, we got 2 1990s. Tatis and Babe Ruth. Interesting. And Christopher Morel and the Detroit Tigers. And our stars is Shota. So really not doing well with the holiday parallels. Holiday parallels, variations, or again, whatever they call them on here. Holiday variations. And just like that, we're on to the last one. At the moment, I would say stick with your standard hangers, because these are way more apt to damage. And I personally like the Diamantes better than the Easter stuff. I think it seems to be so hard to get something other than leaves or whatever the heck the green parallel is. But all right, here we go. Let's take a quick peek. A little bit of damage on the front and back cards again. But overall, that second one was definitely the worst by a pretty good margin. So something to keep an eye out for, guys, if this is a product you're after. Not something I'd waste any more than standard retail price on. There's too much of a chance of corner damage. Spencer Schwellenbach, who's looked quite good for the Braves so far. Astros, another team that are struggling. Louis Mayo. Eflin looked good in the first game, not so good in the second game. I saw both of those. I'm not so sure after that. But he's kind of our default ace with the injuries we have. DeCenzo. Reds, Nick Lodolo. He's back pitching. It'll be interesting to see if he can stay healthy. He's had his issues. And we're getting down to the end. Joey Ortiz. Let's see if we can go out with anything interesting. Or Elvis Martinez. So this will be a rookie. Rookie rainbow foil. Not bad. We got Lou Bob on our, what are they calling it? Exclusive card. Whatever. Pete Alonso. And Tyler Glasnow and Richie Palacios. Followed by a star as Vladdy. And Ellie to finish it off. So, you know, like I said, nothing too crazy. Didn't end up getting anything numbered. These are some of the parallels and stuff. I like the Vladdy. I wish the corners were a little nicer. Maybe after putting it in a top loader, maybe you can put like a heavier book on it and see if that fixes the problem. But yeah, guys, this is definitely something that I would pass on. I'd keep going with hangers if you're looking for a more low budget thing. It's just too much of a chance that you're going to have that corner damage. And if it's something that you're going to buy, just make sure that that you're aware of that ahead of time. That way you don't get, you know, kind of surprised in your investment, shall we say. But with that said, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. If you could head down below, click the subscribe button, click the like while you're there. Put out videos every Monday and Friday, and would absolutely love to have you along for the ride. We do openings like this, card show pickup videos, open tons of different sports things, some little non-sports, I guess, if you call it WWE, wrestling, that kind of stuff, non-sport. And overall, just try to have a great time. But with that said, the only other thing I want to say is thank you guys very much. As always, I like to close with gratitude, because it's such a cool thing. You know, something, again, that I started off just to help with my own obsessive compulsive disorder all those and all the tendencies that come along with it. And it's really awesome to be a part of such an awesome community that you know, watches the stuff, comments on the stuff. We talk about the stuff at card shows and stuff. You guys are incredible, and thank you for being the incredible folks that you are. But with that said, we'll stop babbling. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.